This is my mint condition AM radio, made by R.C.A. I'm guessing from the 60s by the design. I bought this for $5. Or it could be 70s, either way. It's still vintage. Here's the inside of the back. I left the original capacitors in there, since they still work. It's never been used. It's the first time we're going to test it, so let's hope it works. Where's the battery? Crap. Went under the freaking TV. Dang it. Let's go even further. Alright. I hope it works.
Isn't it unfair to everyone in this country? Isn't it fair to all Americans?
It works.
The ultimate unfairness the country faces, which demands some really tough decisions. You know, there just isn't an easy way out. There is no easy way out. You can't, even if you want to really sock it to the rich. Let's say you do. Let's say you're just sick of the filthy rich, and you want them to pay whatever it is, 50% or 75%, whatever it is. You want them to pay. You can't raise enough money.
And what is also rare is it still has the fresh shave marks on here where they shaved it down to size. That's pretty cool.
Paying taxes, or they'll just do a better job at cheating. You can't do it. You can't. So, you think when it comes to wasting.
Alors, vigilance sur notre lecture, meilleure compréhension du phénomène. D'accord. André?
Moi, je pense qu'il faut souligner l'intention du gouvernement du Québec d'encourager davantage de Québécois à se procurer des véhicules électriques. Aller sur le site du ministère du Développement durable, de l'Environnement et des Parcs, le gouvernement s'est fixé des objectifs pour que quelque chose comme 20-30, j'oublie, là. Je m'excuse, Catherine, j'ai un problème technologique qui fait en sorte que j'arrive pas à trouver.
Exact, Sore throat? Spray that with Dermatol.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
WTN Religious Catalog. It features additional music from and additional meditations from Father Groeschel. For more information, call 1-800.
Tall is it? So,
Decide to do it. This happens to be a
Enjoyed that set of 4.
if they are just too deep, if when a guy comes out and begins a legitimate debate over the spending in this country, and if he is, by the other side, going to be dismissed outright, and the idea is going to be dismissed outright, then and I don't normally advocate these kinds of things, just not my style, then the alternative for those of us who are serious about the financial problems of this country are simply to mount an effort to defeat them politically. Normally, I like to say, let's have the great debate and let the ideas prevail. Who's got the best idea? Who can carry the day? And we'll push forward. And not just to say all their ideas are wrong and, just have that kind of partisan fight. But if the reaction to a meaningful and thoughtful approach to dealing with the budget problems in this country is going to be, you're kicking seniors out of nursing homes, you're going to harm children, you're going to deny...
have again fired on them.
Outside the UN mission, hundreds of predominantly young people calling for an end to the UN-sanctioned airstrikes. Also here in the...
...in winning. That's what's going to happen.
And I'm here.
I left the original capacitors in there as they still work, but there is a slight amount of distortion because they could be a little dried out. What do you recommend? Recap or just leave it the way it is? Because I got it for $5. I've never seen one of these like this on the internet. I've never seen one before. It's just, either it's really rare or either it's pretty cool and really nice, or it's either really rare or very popular. Either one. It's still really cool. The only bad thing about getting things that are either rare or mint in the box, that it's kind of wrong to, kind of horrible to use them in everyday life because it just wears them down. Just a box. It's got the later font on there. I think they started that in the 70s, so this is probably the 70s. Said some things on, oh, here it is. Single wall box. I got an original earphone apparently. I don't know if it's original, or someone just stuck that in there to make it look like it has bells and whistles. But let me hook the radio back up and put that up to the microphone, see if it sounds any good.
Different than somebody that's just living by themselves. They're not going to need what these people need. So as an advisor, I'm not just letting...
This camera has stereo microphones, so I'm going to hold it up to each.
Just beyond left field of the ballpark, downtown Charleston. Broadcasting from the Power Alley Grill.
It may not sound very good on camera, but if you actually,
220-inch TV.
but if it was probably so much better in person to headphone to ear instead of headphone to microphone than to you, then your ear. Like all the sounds go under different changes when they get uploaded on YouTube. So, original battery connector. Very simple. Put this little baby back together. I do know that I freaking love this thing because it's so cool looking. So, set that up here. Put this in its little earphone bag. Let's look at the really cool manual here. Operating instructions and warranty. It's not very brittle, so I don't think it's that old. Snap. Exhausted. These are like words they don't ever use anymore in instructions. Okay, there is an earphone supplied with this receiver. And it folds back the way it should, like that. And we'll pack it back up. Let me set the camera up here. Yeah, I need a tripod. No, I did not open this box, so I got it like that. And it goes back up here where it sits for forever and a year. Whoa. There's also a mint condition multimeter up there. And this Zenith. And that, and different things like that. Here's this speaker I found in the trash. It says, I think, yeah, Newtone on the front, but it has this cheap junker in the back, or inside. Cheap little ripped out speaker where someone's pressed on the cloth. It's all stretched out. But, oops. You can pretty much see the cone is very brittle. There's no saving it. I glued it and left. I tried to repair it, but thanks for watching. Crap. Went under the freaking TV. Dang it. Let's go even further. Alright. Here's the inside of the back. I left the original capacitors in there since they still work. It's never been used. It's the first time we're going to test it, so let's hope it works. Where's the battery? This is my mint condition AM radio, made by R.C.A. I'm guessing from the 60s by the design. I bought this for $5. Or it could be 70s, either way. It's still vintage.